Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We're back with another One Piece chapter, chapter 1140, Scopper Gyaban. And on our cover page, we got Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 26. I'll beat the hell out of you if you lay a finger on Payton. And you can see who has Alti chained and pinned to like this, I guess, this wheel, and they playing games and toying with her. So it looks like who's who really got the upper hand on Wano after everybody left. So he he making the most of his power, him being I guess the top of the Toby Ropo. So very interesting to know that all of the Toby, well, I shouldn't even say all, but the Toby Ropo still have a storyline to tell on Wano. So great cover page. So we're going to jump straight into the chapter we left off with Scop and Gabon asking to fight Luffy over the key to free Loki. So the Pirate King's left hand in the flesh. Luffy asks Scopper, why would we fight you over a key, old timer? Just give it here. Rodo, sir, yeah, what are you doing? Road, my bad, Road. And Scopper Gabon said, what? Don't think you can take it? And it sets Luffy off immediately. Why you? And Nami tries to get Luffy to stay on Road's hand. And it's like a flashback of what Collins said to Luffy. And maybe possibly Zoro, maybe Zoro was there, maybe overheard it. Did you know my father's human too? He used to be a pirate and he didn't fear anyone, not even the warriors of Elbaf. Makes perfect sense. Luffy reaches for the key and Scopper quickly moves out of the way, kind of giving future sight type of vibes, and catches Luffy off guard. Luffy wasn't expecting that. And Luffy keeps reaching for the key and Scopper is dodging everything. Girl, come on, old man. The sooner we get back to Loki, the sooner we get back to the feast. Then hurry and take it, says Scopper. Just watch me. Oh, snap. So Scopper puts the key over his head and coats it in hockey, ready to slap the hell out of Luffy. Not ready. He does slap the hell out of Luffy. So he coats the key in hockey and literally attacks Luffy. I don't know if Luffy got hit by it, but sir, yeah. And it looks like he destroys a part of this hidden chamber that they're in. No way, Luffy. No, he hit the hell out of Luffy. I think he get Luffy ass. He got him. And Luffy screams. He got fangs popping out. He annoyed now. And Scalpa says, nice straw hat you've got there. It suits you better than a helmet, don't you think? Luffy says, duh, it's my treasure. I'm holding on to it for Shanks. Now hand over the key. As Scappa continues to dodge every move Luffy has thrown, but let's say Luffy has stayed in his base form because he's taking Scappa lightly, regardless of who he is. So holding on to it, he didn't just give it to you. What a cheapskate. He called Shanks cheap because he gave him the straw hat as a rental. Luffy gets upset because he didn't just call Shanks a cheapskate. You got it wrong, dummy. And don't call him that. You don't know the first thing about him. Aha. And as Luffy is yapping at the mouth, Scappa is able to insert the key into Luffy's head. You got a mouth on you, brat. Wow. And not only does he shoves it into Luffy's mouth, which is pause material, he kicks it and sends Luffy flying into a wall. And then he pulls out his axes. And Zoro notices, grab, rim, wrong. Ooh, I don't. Grim Throne. I don't. We gonna need to look that up because I don't know what that means. So I guess as Luffy is flying, you can see him with like a shocked face. Scalper gets ready to throw one of the axes at him. Luffy dodge, and it looks like Zoro comes in to block the axe for Luffy because it wasn't no joke of an attack. The attack so strong it breaks off part of this castle hours. It breaks off one of the towers in the hours castle, and Scappa, remarks to Zoro. No, actually, no. He just remarks to himself. He's got a fine crew. He's impressed that Zoro was able to block it. Road and Nami are literally shocked as all hell, and now they're really getting ready to fight. Luffy finally turns to his Sun God form, his Gear Fifth, and he's holding Scalper's axe as he's ready to fight. And Zoro gets out all three of his blades. Right. And Scalper says to himself, this is that white form I heard about. Crumble, crumble as the part of the castle drops to the land of the dead, I want to say. Brace yourself. And Scalper fully ready for Zoro and every. Whoa. Man, they teasing. Oda, why you teasing, bro? Alright, so they don't do nothing. Scalper sees Zoro and Luffy gear up like they really ready to fight and gives up. Damn. And it looked like they looked like they fly past past them because they was ready to fight so hard. So they give up. And so Scalper gives up. And what's this? This Zoro. Stop jerking us around, Gramps. No. Oh yeah, yeah. Stop jerking us around, Gramps. Yeah, ha ha ha. Don't get worked up. I was just fooling around. Luffy said, "You tried to kill me and you think we'll just laugh it off? You're still alive, aren't you? Anyway, the kid you're after is right behind you." Oh. Luffy Tasso, everyone. This guy is don't be hasty, Road. Oh wow. So Scalpa doesn't necessarily want Road to tell him he's a part of Gold Roger's crew. He wants it to still be a mystery. So because they treated him just like an old man. Probably what Scalpa wants. If Elbath is still safe, by the time you decide to leave, come find me. Are you just disappearing now, Scalper? I don't know. If Elbath is still safe, by the time you decide to leave, come find me. This is giving an indication that it will not be safe by the end of this arc, so to speak. Um, they might have to go find him regardless, especially if you got more guard knights on the way. Luffy remarks, "Why would I? I never want to see you again." That's right, you moron. Thanks for the key, but there's no way we're gonna seek you out anytime soon. Up flashback. So Shanks did meet Scappa. When Shanks came to Elbath, he remarked that he met up with an old friend and was there longer than he needed to be. I said this before in different, maybe a different chapter, that we all expected to be Dorian Brogy, but he was talking about Scappa this entire time, and that's what he took time to catch up with, and that's why he ended up being there when Kid showed up to Elbath. So it was kind of a little bit of fate at the same time. Shanks still got his mentors around to go talk to, which is cool to know. And it's a cool parallel to Luffy being able to go to Shanks um, to get new information, about being a pirate and test his skill. Shanks still had his elders to go and check up on. And it's a little bit clearer on how Shanks got to his position as a Yonko for so long. So Shanks and Scappa flashback. Honestly, Shanks, you really think I'd trust him that easily? Ah ha ha, fair enough. Do as you please, Gyaban. Um, miss. Looky, look out there. Uh, huh? What's all the hubbub? It's a birdie. All that excitement over a bird? It's a really, really weird one. So Ange looks up into the sky. Where is it? Realm of the Sun. There's a school here. How perfect. I'll summon them. Gunko is ready to summon more people, and she's using her power. Like she's using her hand to create this summoning circle to bring people here. I thought they had to use that same circle, but guess not. Gunko says, I'll summon them. Shamrock says, very well. And you see this big charged black lightning, and it looks like two figures. Understood. No, I don't mind going. Who's saying that? Just tell me where we're leaving from. The abyss will be the abyss will be where now? What? What? So we get two more God Knights on Elbath. It's lit. Now, these ain't the most lit looking characters, I will say that. These are some very interesting looking characters. You have a naked old man, um, God Knight, Saint Summers, House Shepherd. So he's from the Shepherd House. I remember that Shepherd name from something. Um, and this other knight that looks like it has a dragon head and a bubble on. It is so much going on with this other one. God Knight Saint. All right, this is a one hell of a name. Quilligan, Quilligam, Saint Quilligam. That's what we're gonna go with until somebody else says something better than what I just said. Saint Quilligam, House Limosive, House Limosive. All right, so let's read what they say. So House Summers, no, Saint Summers. I'm saying House Summers. Saint Summers says, "No, it's fine, but we'll have some time before, right? You know, to get dressed and stuff. This is bad. This is bad. This Saint Quilligan kind of reminds me of Usopp and this whole this is bad thing. God Knights, I didn't expect that kind of attitude from them. But all right, back to Saint Summers and what he's saying. God Knight Saint Summers. Can't I at least have an hour? Also, what is this current situation? What is the current situation? I'm talking about the provisions. What else? It won't do for us gods to starve, right? Hello? What's with this thing? Is it the telepathic signal? And we go back to Saint Quilligam. I'm gonna be late. I won't make it. I was half asleep. Where are we going again? Gonko is literally looking at them like, what are y'all doing? Gonko, what are you doing in my manor? Huh? Shamrock's here too. So they summoned them, and I guess they didn't understand it was just summoned. So we got some comic relief. This is good to see. Two God Knights, which is really good. What? We're in Elbaf. So Saint Summers is starting to get dressed, and this Saint Quilligam is tall as hell, but he gotta be some type of hybrid animal. Unless that's his dragon fruit or a devil fruit. I don't know. Kind of like giving seahorse type of vibes at the same time. It's kind of giving like a smaller version of like Momo and Kaido's transformations. But let's move on and we'll return. Saint Summer says the summoning brought my couch too. Big surprise. Saint Quilligam. So this is the land of giants, huh? Everything's huge. And Gonko replies, I only wanted one person. Why are there two? Oh, I guess that's Shamrock. Oh, Quilligam said, it's because you're meant to go home, Captain. I am? It's an order from above, so that's what it is. I suppose the situation in the Holy Land has gotten dire recently. Everything started to spiral downhill after the revelry started. It'd be best for you to hurry back there, Shamrock. Wow, so Shamrock is leaving. Anyway, why don't you brief us on the current mission? What are we doing in a non-member nation like this? Were you visiting Harold's grave or something? So say Summers finally got some clothes on, got off his couch. All right, I get it. Dot dot dot. So we just need to nab those brats and take them back to the Holy Land. Although I guess these particular kids are a bit too big to stuff in a bag or something. And those without the mark can't pass through the abyss. So they're marked. They need a mark to pass through that circle. I guess they're calling it the abyss. The summoning circle is what they're calling the abyss in my eyes. That means we'll have to spirit them away by ship. Mm. And great. With our combined powers, we can make a game out of this. What kind of plan is he concocting? Great chapter. Great chapter. Very short to the point. We got to see. Let's go ahead and start from the beginning. Zoro and Luffy saw firsthand Scappa Gyaban, Yasan ain't to be messed with. To the point Luffy kind of downplayed fighting the old man at first and didn't take it seriously until he got the keys stuffed in his mouth and kicked across the room. Um, Zoro was the first one to actually see Scappa pull out his axes and was like, "Oh, homeboy, really trying to get busy with us." So I think Scappa has finally caught the attention of Luffy and Zoro, even though Luffy and Zoro kind of hate him now. But it's just briefly. But this is a good way to like break the ice between everybody. It was Scappa Gabon's way of testing Shanks's protege. Luffy wasn't very aggressive against Scappa Gabon in this fight, but in it in this fight, he still got to see Gear Fifth, which is something I don't think any of the Roger pirates have actually saw. Like actually got the chance to see firsthand. I think Luffy is their first chance of seeing it, and he is the missing piece that they weren't able to have back when they actually conquered the world or conquered the sea. I want to say. Um, Luffy is going gung ho, trying his best to defend Shanks from somebody that helped raise Shanks. So it's some irony in that. Um, Luffy acting real weird when it comes to Shanks, and as much as this energy is warranted from somebody who idolizes Shanks, I also feel like it's a bad thing because he's not even putting two and two together. He's not. He's crashing out. He crashing out because Scappa called Shanks a cheapskate for only giving the hat as a loan and not just straight up giving Luffy the hat. Which is very interesting. Um, Luffy is way too defensive of Shanks. Way too defensive. I wanted a Shamrock and reveal to Luffy. Hopefully, we get that before Shamrock is seemingly leaves the island. But I want Luffy to be able to see Shamrock at least once. Um, Also, in this chapter, you see that Scopper is poking fun at Luffy in the straw hat. Um, Literally telling Luffy he looks much better in the straw hat than he does in a helmet. Now, he is giving more significance to this straw hat than we've previously got from, like, I guess Rayleigh, because Rayleigh didn't really mention the hat that much from our encounters with Rayleigh. Rayleigh just knew who he was looking for based off of what Shanks told him, um, and what he experienced at the auction house. Scalpo, on the other hand, had just talked to Shanks before the Straw Hats arrived, so this kind of makes it a little bit different. And Scalpa went about testing the Straw Hats in his own way. He kind of hinted that this place will not be safe. That Elbath will not be safe, and this kind of goes back to the message we got a couple chapters ago. Like, don't linger on Elbath for too long. I think, I think Scalpa knows there's gonna be a change in tide on Elbath pretty soon. Um, I thought he would be around to help out the Straw Hats a little bit more, give them a little bit more information, but maybe just helping them get the key to free Loki is all they needed, all he was there to do, and he's going to back off. He's going to let Loki run free and do whatever he wants. But to say if Elbath is still safe by the time you decide to leave kind of gives credence to he doesn't believe that it's going to be all peaches and roses after you've released Loki. Like, it's going to be an issue once you release Loki. But at the same time, he still has some confidence that this protege of Shanks, this new line, and for the Pirate King has a quality crew. Just seeing his secondhand man. Um, but this is great stuff from Scalpa. This was a great. I wouldn't call it a fight. Let's just say I'll call it an altercation. A like nice little test of character, so to speak. Um, the sparkle in Scalper's eye and the grin, he gives me so much more like of a fun old dude. He gives me more Roshi vibes than Rayleigh does. Rayleigh gives me um I don't actually think I guess closer to a Ben Beckman type of vibe, while Scalpa is very playful, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. He actually kind of fits in with the Straw Hats and kind of that direction. But he really ticked off Luffy and Zoro because Zoro was like, I gotta step in, and usually you won't see Zoro step in for Luffy. You wouldn't see somebody step in for their captain unless they really needed some help. But in one move, Scappa took off a side of this castle. So the name Mount Nita fits perfectly. He can toss those axes like it ain't nothing. I don't even think he imbues this axe with hockey, and it still made Zoro go and protect Luffy. Even to the point Luffy was like, "You were trying to kill me." Luffy thought his life was in danger. So this was very interesting. This whole altercation between Scappa, Gabant, and Luffy and Zoro. I thought it was just gonna be Luffy and Scappa, but Oda, thank you for making this even more interesting than it was in the first place. Um, they clearly have respect for this old man, and I think they feel stupid for ever taking him lightly. Um, but yeah, I do want to go back on touch on like Scalpa Gabon seeing the Sun God Nika form. And now that I look at the Sun God Nika form on Elbath, it looks like Luffy grew horns. It's either he used the helmet and his hair grew over the helmet, and he's just using the horns as like decoration, but it's a part of like his aesthetic in this Gear Fifth mode at this point. Let me go back up to yeah. So his horns are originally black. His horns are originally black, but once he goes into the Sun God Nika form and doesn't take off the helmet, it's like the horns just turn white and it's covered up by the rest of his glowing hair in his Gear Fifth mode, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. I truly believe the Sun God and the return of Sun God might have been the reason that the Roger Pirates just disbanded and went their separate ways. It was just something that they didn't have at that time or didn't know what to do about of Sun God Nika needing to be present for the world to be turned upside down in the ways that the poneglyphs most likely were telling them, or the voice of all things, whatever you want to decide that they needed. Um, Now where else? What else we want to talk about? Okay, the other guard knights that showed up. Um, Clearly the Revolutionary Army's plan to derail marriage war and attacking the food supply, messing up reverie, the Gorosei being seen and spotted by somebody. That's why they're asking for Shamrock to come back. They want better forces on marriage war while all this madness is going on. But at this current moment, there are four God Knights that we've been introduced to, and they're all on Elbaf. The Revolutionary Army need to be making their way here. I don't care if the Straw Hats can take all of them. If this is the move. They are trying to get the Giants under their thumb to use them as pawns. As their fighting force, clearly. This is what this is for. They would have just went and attacked all the Giants if that was the case, but are they still are ready to kidnap the children and take them back to Marriage Wall and hold them for ransom or leverage over the Giants. Now, it's a little weird because the Giants don't have a king right now. So who's gonna make that call? And the way I see the Giants probably just gonna go fight. Like, you know what? We just gonna go fight them because y'all not gonna take our children. Y'all not gonna take our futures away from us. So they are very, very close to the children, but they do not know that Robin, Chopper, Bonnie, and Vegapunk Lilith are there near the children at the library. So they could definitely interfere with the plan to kidnap the children, which I really hope happens. Um, Maybe even get a Gunko versus Nico Robin fight. I'm just spitballing because you don't know what this man Oda gonna come with next. He cooking. He cooking right now. And this is light cooking. This is a snack. This chapter was a snack. It's a nice, I give it like a nice 8 of a chapter because it didn't give too much. I got through the chapter pretty quickly. Wasn't that many panels, but it was cool to actually get the reveals that we got. Cool that Scalper Gabon got to see Sun God Nika, Gear Fifth, and we got to see even more of the God Knights, so we could put these silhouettes away. We know what they look like, and we see that some of these God Knights are actually quite quirky. Especially these two new ones, Saint Summers and Saint Quilligam. Um, Villain, Villain Gam. I'm gonna just keep trying to say his name because I wish it was easy, like Saint Joe. But we gonna go ahead and rock with it. Maybe his name means something, but different from Gunko, they are from clear celestial dragon houses. House Shepherd and House Limosive? Limosive. House Limosive and House Shepherd. I've heard the Shepherd name before. I forgot what House Shepherd. I don't know which. Yeah, I remember this House Shepherd name being mentioned. I don't remember where. So I gotta research that and go back to see what that's about. But at the end of the chapter, which is very interesting, you see Shamrock talking about trying to turn this into a game. Like they're trying to turn this kidnapping of the children into some type of game, which is very cynical, very on brand for the God Knights. Exactly what I expect. At the same time, it's not gonna go that way, but it's nice that that's the route that they're thinking. I want to touch on some more things, and then we'll move on. To use this summoning circle, which I believe they're calling the Abyss, they need some type of mark. They haven't shown us if any of them have a mark on them. Even though how Saint Summers basically shows up naked, maybe that's the mark we're looking for. The mark that's on his elbow. because it's a clear reason. Like maybe he has a whole sleeve basically. He has a whole sleeve done. Maybe let me see when he has his whole he has a sleeve done. Maybe that sleeve is the mark they're referring to that allow people to pass through this summoning circle. We didn't see really anything on the Gorosei, but it's a revelation to know this isn't something that the God Knights aren't in control of. They are. Now, why does it seem like the Gorosei's marks were temporary and their marks seem to be permanent because it's still a mark inside of Awa's castle in the throne room? But clearly needing a mark to pass through the abyss is a great tidbit. So it might be some type of ritual. It is some type of summoning. It has some logic behind it. It's not just some like crazy we can just do this because we got powers or some devil fruit power. They're making it seem like you can get the mark. It might just be a process of getting this mark from somebody else. So it might be somebody's devil fruit power that they're allowing them to use. We don't know. We don't know, but this is very interesting stuff that Gunko was able to forge this summoning circle and summon two people at once. Two god knights at once. Let me say that because it's not just regular people. These are god knights, it's celestial dragons and great fighters clearly. So she was able to summon both of them along with a chair that Saint Summers was sitting in. So that's a feat in itself. Um and it looks like they can be summoned without even knowing because they were clearly blindsided by being summoned by Gunko. They didn't even know they were being summoned. They on the you see Saint Summers on the Den Den Mushi talking to somebody, trying to figure out when is he getting transported there, and they, him and Saint Quilligan realized they already on our bath. So that was a very, very, very interesting like entrance for those two. At the same time, it was also humorous, which I did not think the God Knights would be, just personally. But it is One Piece. Um, what else I want to touch on? Again, Oda has not talked about the mural or brought up the mural or the Harley text in the last two chapters, and oh, and in the last two chapters, and it's very, very, very disheartening. We're not getting more information. I've seen people doing cutouts and pictures and all this other the mural, and I'm like, you still missing stuff from the mural. So kudos to you and the person who's talented enough to like make 3D copies of it and put it up, but it's not complete. It's not complete. So you might have to add something to those pieces of work, but it's still dope what you do, and I don't want to take that away. But I think Oda is playing cat and mouse with us. Hopefully, we get Robin in his next chapter to explain some of the Harley texts, or Frankie to talk about the mural he is looking at. Because he dropped that in 1138, and we haven't seen it since. So, but even with that, Luffy has the key to free Loki now, and he's gonna find out that Loki has been attacked, stabbed through the stomach, beat up, almost knocked out. I don't know if Luffy is going to catch an attitude because it's not that he can do at this moment, but at least we know Loki can be freed very soon. Now he won't be 100%. He won't be 100%, and he might not go on the rampage that everybody believes he will go on. But we might get a reveal of his devil fruit next chapter. But I kind of think they're gonna make a hard. I think Oda is gonna do a hard reset on what we're expecting and go to something else. Because we know of where all the groups are, but we might be going back to the party where Usopp and Jinbei and I believe Sanji still are. I believe we're going back to the party, and maybe the Giants there and Ja Rule might give us some more information about what's going on Elbaf or the state of the world or what's going on like that. But um, clearly, Loki can be free soon. It was not that hard to get the key. It wasn't that hard at all to get the key. Now, will they consider Luffy a traitor for giving, freeing Loki? Most likely. Most likely. If they know about it, most likely yes. I think Scappa was just going along with it because he trusts that Luffy will do the right thing. At the same time, you just don't let criminals free. You just don't. So I do believe the people at Elbaf are going to be very, very angry at the Straw Hats for letting Loki free. At the same time, Loki beat up, and Loki know about Shamrock, and nobody else does. So maybe Loki can um warn the Straw Hats about their plan to kidnap the children, or maybe this might be Loki's redemption arc. How he saves Elbaf and saves the children will be his way to the throne, way to be king. Like you turned everything around to save the children. Like they will acknowledge that. Like you did all this to save the new generation of children, even though they don't even want to be great warrior pirates or great warriors of Elbaf. They don't want to be that at all. So I think that's pretty cool if that is the direction we're going. Well, we don't know. Um, Couple tidbits of things that I just noticed, and I'm not, I don't know what to say about them. But if you look at Saint Summer's sword, it looked like it has a hilt with spikes on it. So it kind of looks like Shamrock's saber, sword, whatever you want to call it. But he has a different hilt, and looks like he got like this cross in his beard, and it's fit kind of icy. I can't even lie. The God Knights fits beside Gunko and these panties. They look like they put some work in. So, and you can see from Saint Quilligam, he has the same I don't even know what to call it, awakening type cloak around him, and it looks like this is his base form, so to speak. So that is cool in itself. Maybe this is an awakened fruit user, um, or maybe something like Yamato, where this cloak is just present with this type of devil fruit. But we'll get that explained eventually. Now that I really look at Saint Quilligam, kind of looks like a seahorse. Um, so they look like Kaido and Momonosuke, but it's giving seahorse at this point. And the eyebrows are slightly swirled. So this is very cool to like really like dive into. If anybody got a theory on Saint Quilligam, that'd be very interesting. But you would think people of this type of like lineage and heritage would be somebody that would be taken as a slave in Marriage War, not somebody that is going to be a god knight. So this is very interesting. Um, so that's why I am kind of believing that this is a double fruit, because this isn't something that this. If you see somebody this unique on Marriage War, I will automatically assume they're a slave to somebody. But with the cloak and the status and the trident, I am very curious to find out what devil fruit this is. Um, and we might get that next chapter. No break next week, so we are in luck. We are in luck. Um, I wonder if there's anything else I wanted to talk about on this chapter. I will reiterate, I do believe Robin, Lilith, Chopper, and Bonnie will have to stop the God Knights or delay the God Knights in kidnapping the children. I do believe that's about to happen. Not in the next chapter, but pretty soon. I feel like we might be going back to the land of the dead to free Loki while they concoct this plan to kidnap these children from the owl library. I forgot the name of the school, but yeah, this was still a good chapter. This is a great chapter. It was just really quick, and seeing Scappa actually fight with Luffy and Zoro was a gem that we will never forget, and I can't wait to see this animated. Um, Scappa's playful attitude really reminds me of Luffy, and it was honestly great to see one of those OG pirates back in action after so long. Um, I think it's been a while since. No, it hasn't been that long since Rayleigh stopped Blackbeard, but to see them in this type of light and still fighting at their older ages, like it's still great to see. But yeah, man, this is the Walrus School, is that what the name of it was? I don't know. I should figure that out later. But as I said, previous chapters, earlier chapters, this and the third, I wasn't sure if Shanks was talking about Dorian Broggie when he was saying it was good to meet up with old friends. I'm pretty sure that entire statement was about Gyaban and talking to Gyaban and letting him know that Luffy is the person that we all waiting for at this point. That you guys weren't able to finish because I found the kid. I stumbled across this kid and he ended up eating this fruit that maybe Shanks wanted to take for himself. Who knows? Who knows why Shanks never ate a devil fruit? Maybe that's based off of what he knows about the future, told to him by Roger, Rayleigh, and Gabon. Just being around, knowing what's gonna happen and why the devil fruits are important. But it is great to see everything that's happened in this chapter. So if you are tuned in, please like and subscribe, leave comments, chat it up with your boy. You are much appreciated. You are helping me, and I want to help you. Um, I'm just trying to build a community. But this was a good chapter. This was a great chapter. Seeing Luffy get beat because he was taking his opponent so lightly was another good way to show that like Luffy is about fighting, but Luffy can let down his guard something crazy. And he definitely let down his guard with Scalper Gabon. He thought he was just gonna take the key from him, and Scalper was like, "You don't know who you messing with, and you don't know I helped raise the guy that raised you, so to speak. You love Shanks so much, but Shanks got a lot of what he knows about the sea and the pirate world from me, Rayleigh, and Roger. So, and now that I'm looking closer to this scar on Scalper's face, it kind of does look like a flame, but I think that's too much of a stretch to be like, oh, that's the man that's marked by flames. I think he just got hit upside the head. But thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, well, in this video here. Please like and subscribe. Shorts will be coming out soon. Till next time, I'll at your boy.